once upon a time ago, there was nothing in the world that I wanted besides that. And I worked really, really hard to get that. I didn't have any support from my family to go to college. I worked 3 part-time jobs. I graduated with honors. And then I moved across the country so that I could have cheaper tuition. And I settled down in Tucson, Arizona. And I began to study for a degree in language, reading, and culture from the College of Education. And I thought that once I graduated with a master's degree, that I would have prestige and I would be respected. And, you know, there are all of these things that I thought that once I had that piece of paper, once I thought that I would have it all. And that could not be more false for 2 reasons. The first reason is because I have that. And actually, because of that, I live in abject poverty every single day. I've been on food stamps for 2.5 years. Or as a single mom, I could have gone to work and then been very sick and overweight, taking a lot of meds with coffee every morning, and then coming home every night and drinking myself into oblivion because I was depressed and I was tired and I was overworked. And I had 2 really small kids. And so whenever the pandemic started, I made a choice to quit doing that. So in essence, it's a choice, but you have to choose, right? As a single mom, what are your priorities? Well, I chose my kids as my priority. And so when I did that, little did I know how that would actually come into play. And so what I have really come to understand is that the quest for that wasn't necessarily a quest about that. It was a quest about myself. And what is it that I valued and what is it that I wanted for myself? And then whenever I had my own kids, right, what is it that I value for them? What experience do I want them to have, right? And so, you know, I have a lot of time on my hands now, so I do a lot of meditation when I sit around and make videos and things like that, right? And so what I came to really understand about that is through living in poverty, through understanding this lens. Because I mean, on my other videos, I've talked very bluntly about I came from poverty, right? But the poverty that I came from was a different type of poverty for a different type of reason. And so the interesting thing is that I made a video for my value series. There's a playlist. And I made a video for my value series. And in that I said, oh shit, what did I say? I totally just blanked. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry, I'm back. So in that video in the value series, right? So, you know, one of the things that I said was that one of the statistics that I overcame, or one of the stereotypes I overcame, was that coming from having been born of a teenage mother, I would continue to live in poverty, right? And so the only way to escape that, and so many people remember this from the 90s, that in order to escape that, you needed to have that. Okay? You needed to have that. And so I believed that lie, that in order to be anything or do anything, you know, to essentially get out of the hood, right? You needed to have that. So I went after that and I got that. But that came with a lot of debt. That was really expensive to obtain. And then my salary wasn't enough. And no teacher's salary is enough to pay back the monthly payment of that. And then if you're on the income-based repayment, then you pay such a too low amount, and then you never pay it off, right? And then, you know, all of these things have happened, blah, blah, blah. And so then you're in forbearance, and then you're not paying anything for years and years and years and years. Okay, so you indefinitely, right? So not only did I obtain this and accrue a lot of debt, which also just continues to, that's actually the other side of the poverty part. I was living in poverty because I was a single mom and I had to work so much to pay back that. That's the irony about it, right? So what I learned, though, and especially living in like a fantastic community that I live in such a culturally and religiously diverse community, and you get to learn a lot from different people, from different cultures of people. So like I said, I made a choice before for my kids, whenever the pandemic started, to leave my career and be a stay-at-home mom and have, and work from home in some capacity. And then I thought, well, if I have my own business, then I can, have my own schedule and things like that. So that's going to work out really perfect. So that's kind of that quest that I started out on. And so through that, again, like making that choice for what I valued, making that choice for what I valued, I really started to see and understand. Sorry, I'm still recovering from being sick. That's where I've been. That's why you haven't seen me. I've had a really severe bacterial infection. I was really sick. Still suffering from long COVID. Playlist is there. So are all of the courses and the books that I've written in this time, learning all of these lessons and doing all of these things. So what I learned was that the thing that doesn't make me happy to make me money is not that. And how many of experiences that I had that people didn't respect that, or they didn't care about that, right? They care about your talents and what it is that you can do. And so, now I'm, I do business mentoring and things like that. My website's naturallyinspiredmedia.com. And so what I learned about that is that I can take all the talents, right? All the things that I have learned in the quest for that, right? Because it's the piece of paper. It's not the skills that we value. In the quest for the piece of paper, I hadn't realized how many new skills and talents and just amazing things that I could do. One, because I wasn't allowed to really express creativity. Not really. I worked in a lot of schools where I could, but I ended up in schools where I didn't. So You know, and then they just look at you, do you have that? But it's like, what is your art? What is your talent? Things like that. And so, you know, if you are in my situation where you have a master's degree and you struggle to pay your bills, you're on a really tight budget because of, you know, certain circumstances, right? Like me having long COVID, I couldn't even work if I wanted to, right? And so, sorry, oh, the gingerbread cookies are gonna be ready soon. Oh, here comes Redlawn. I'm making a video. I'm making a video.
I know, but that's...
I'm making a video.
I'll take it out.
Can you give me just a second?
I'll take it out.
Okay. Sorry about that. Usually I tell them when I'm making videos, and I didn't this time. And he's so excited to make the gingerbread cookies. Okay, so anyways, in my quest for that, or usually, right, we only care about, oh, what degrees you have, but we lose sight of the whole entire, like, what really are the skills and the experiences, especially, that you gain in the quest for that. And that part, if you focus too much on this, like I was, then you completely lose sight of all of the things that you have that are fantastic, amazing, marketable skills. That, yes, you have that, but really it's just about you and what you can do, and how you can show up in the world, and how you can be authentic. And so really that's what it's about, or at least that's what it should be about. And so, you know, as always, I hope that my own experiences serve as practical guidance for other people, because life is really hard right now. You know, I'm having a war with the school district because they're not teaching my kid the way that my kid learns. You know, again, the conformity, right? I refuse to conform because I'm an Aquarius. I refuse to conform, and I will not allow others to force my children to conform, right? And I'm recovering from having long COVID, right? Really, really, really sick. Had a bacterial infection, really serious one, you know, oregano oil, always swear by it. And so, and then there are more things, right? And so, you know, again, if you're out there, you're not by yourself by any means at all. Everyone's going through a really hard time right now. And if people are pretending like they're not going through a hard time, they are lying. Everyone on this planet is undergoing an evolutionary process. So it's tough times for everyone. Buckle up. You know, but you can find joy in small things, right? Going outside for a walk, enjoying nature. You know, my daughter paints, she makes videos, I make videos, my son started making Lego videos, right? We all find joy in the way that we can during these times. So I hope this was helpful to at least one person out there, because that's the intention that I said, is that I hope at least one person. And you know, I'm not sure whenever I will make the next video, because again, I'm still moving through some incredibly difficult astrology in my own personal chart. So I'm still undergoing a process of change and transformation, and I'm almost there, but I'm not quite there yet. So once I do get there, you know, I will have just that much more experience to share with everyone. And so, you know, I'm actually really excited for it, because you can kind of look at it like that, is that going through these really tough times, you can really help other people and give really great advice, which is all that I'm doing here. Is I'm just giving you advice based on my own personal experience, right? Experiential guidance. So again, I hope that helps at least one person out there, and I'll see you in the next video when I do.